Wired at Home. I'm here this morning with Anae.
Hi.
Which is so fun to be together. Last week we had a great time on Zoom and we're going to do that again next week. But this week me and Anae have got a game for you. So what game are we going to play?
I think we're playing Would You Rather.
Yeah, another classic game of Would You Rather. So we'll ask a question and then you guys can think about it and write down your answers or post them on the comments, and then we'll tell you what our answer would be. So, Anae, do you want to kick us off with a question?
Okay. Would you rather be shot into space or into the depths of the ocean?
Whoa. That's a good question. What happens when you get there?
I don't know. Just, would you rather?
I think, for me, I would rather be shot into space. Because I think that you don't ever get the opportunity to go to space.
True, but then again, you don't ever get the opportunity to go that deep down into the ocean.
No, but I'm more scared of what's at the bottom.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So I'd probably just go to space as well.
Yeah. What would you guys do? Okay, I've got a question. Would you rather, this is for Anae and you guys, eat a bag of dead flies, or every time you sneeze for the next 10 years, live flies come out your nose?
How big's the bag?
Like a countdown bag. Like an average.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know which is more disgusting. I think I'd probably just eat the flies.
Really?
Because John the Baptist ate like locusts dipped with honey. So how big would flies be if he was able to survive on that? So
or maybe
like it would be really disgusting, like feeling them coming out your nose.
And a bit embarrassing, really, wouldn't it? Like every time you sneeze.
And then you have to like open the window and let them all out.
Yeah. Oh, gross. Yeah, I think I wouldn't want to do either, obviously, but I think I'd have to eat the bag of flies as well. I'm glad this isn't actually having to happen anymore.
Yes. Thank goodness.
Okay, your next question.
Okay. Would you rather climb a cliff without any ropes, or swim in a tank with a school of sharks?
Oh my gosh. I'm actually petrified of sharks and convinced that I'm going to get eaten by a shark. So I would have to go climbing a rock without ropes. And also I like to think I'm quite good at climbing rocks.
Well, everyone likes to think that. Yeah.
Which one would you go for?
I think I'd actually like to swim with sharks. I've never done it.
Would you rather have 3 hands or 3 feet?
Oh, Zoe. I think I would have to go with 3 hands.
Why?
Because they're more useful.
Yeah.
You can already walk perfectly well with 2 feet. But then you can like multitask even better with 3 hands.
But can you? Do you not
like if you're cutting something in your 3rd hand and you have your 2 hands doing your schoolwork.
You know what? That's genius. Yeah. And also, what would be the point in a 3rd?
Yeah, it's not like it'll make you run faster. If anything, it'll kind of trip you up.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to have 3 feet moving in sync.
I think I'll have to go for the hand as well.
Yeah.
Alright, you're next one.
Would you guys rather eat a handful of spiders live, or eat a handful of live cockroaches?
Oh. How many are there?
A handful of
Like-
both.
Like my hand.
Like this. As high as you can get it. Like that.
Do you know what? I'm scared of spiders as well, so this isn't going well for me. how big are the spiders? Are they like baby spiders or like a tarantula?
I'm just not going to say tarantula. I'm just going to say anything from tiny jumping spiders to maybe about this big. Any of that in a hand.
Okay, I think I'm going to have to go spiders. Because I just think it just seems easier.
Yeah, I just have to... I don't know, actually. I think I'd have to go with spiders as well, because like the cockroaches give me a heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
And for me, the cockroach represents like germs and disgusting stuff.
Would you rather every time you sing, you shout, or every time you speak, you sing?
If I chose the second one, then would I be able to sing when I was meant to sing? When I tried to sing, would I sing? Or when I tried to speak, when I tried to sing, I would speak?
No, you just sing all the time, basically.
I don't know what you're talking about. But, oh man.
But if you like started singing the song, the other option is you just start shouting.
Oh man. I think I would have to go every time talk to sing, because like you can make it sound either way if you try hard enough.
Yeah.
But your voice can be higher. But I would
go for the singing as well, because I sing a lot of the time anyway. That's not much different to my life. Whereas if you shout every time you sing, then imagine being at church in worship and then you're just there like...
It's kind of like a repetition of like when the baby squeals at the back of the auditorium.
Or just like you fancy a scene in the shower.
And you're yelling.
Yeah, you're yelling, so I'd go. But yeah. Well, thanks for joining us for Would You Rather. Write any questions you might have so we can use them another time. And I'm going to talk to us now over here somewhere. So we'll see you guys soon. Bye. Bye. Thanks so much, Elaine, for joining me and for those great Would You Rather questions. I can never get bored of different Would You Rather questions. As most of you hopefully know, today in New Zealand is Father's Day. It's actually a different day everywhere else in the world, but still shout out to my dad if you're watching. So this is a day where we appreciate our dads or father figures in our life for all that they do and how they love us. And there's this story in the Bible about a father, and you've probably heard it. It's called the Prodigal Son. If you want to read this story, one place you can find it is in Luke chapter 15 verse 11 to 31. And I'm not going to read the whole story, but I'm just going to recap it quickly. But as I said, if you want to have a read, then that's where you can find it. So in this story, there's a dad and he's got two sons, an older son and a younger son. And one day, the younger son decides, do you know what? I know that when my dad dies, he's going to give me this thing called an inheritance, which is, for him, lots of money. So he decides, I'd rather have it now. So he goes to his dad and he says, hey Dad, hope you're having a good day. Just wondering, you know that money you're going to give me when you die? Could I have it now? And his dad surprisingly says, yeah, sure, here you go, son, and gives him the money. So the son takes the money and he goes off and he does all the things that he wants to do until he runs out of money. And then he gets to this point where he has nothing. He's spent all his money and he feels like he's broken his relationship with his dad by asking him for the money and then spending it all. So he's feeding the pigs and he's thinking, do you know what, I might even have to start eating pig food. That is how low he's got. That is how poor he is. But then he has this light bulb moment and he thinks, hang on a second, my dad's got servants at home and they get fed pretty well and they have a place to live. So maybe what I'll do is I'll go home and I'll say, Dad, I'm sorry for what I did. Could I just be one of your servants so I can have a place to live and have food to eat? And then hopefully I'll be able to do that. So he's making his way home. A bit of a walk of shame, really, ashamed of what he's done, how he's just spent all his money and wasted it, and how he even asked his dad for it in the first place. And his father sees him from a distance, and as his dad sees him, his dad is so happy. His first thought isn't, oh, here he comes, I'm going to give him a word or two, I'm not happy with him. But he sees him and he runs towards him with his arms wide open and he says, Son, welcome home, I love you. I don't know that those are his exact words, but that's the kind of vibe you get from the story. But he welcomes him home and he says to his servants, let's have a party and celebrate that my son is home. Now the other son, the older son that's been there all along, is thinking, hang on a minute, I've been here slaving away, looking after you, doing everything I should have done, and you're throwing him a party. What about me? And I think for us, we could probably be like that sometimes as well. Like, God, I've been a good Christian, so I should get the rewards, not the person that's just come to know you and has done all these bad things. But actually, every time someone comes home to God, every time someone comes to know him, God rejoices. He opens his arms, he says, welcome home, I love you, and let's have a party. And there's two things I want you to know from this story. The first thing is that no matter what you do or have done in the past, you can always come back to God and he will always love you and forgive you for what you've done if we ask for his forgiveness. He is always there, and he's not one day going to decide, actually, you've done that wrong too many times so you can't come back to me. He's always welcoming us home. And the second thing is that he loves when people come to know him that don't know him. You might have friends or family that don't go to church, that wouldn't say they believe in God. But this week I'd love it if each of us could pray for one of those people, that they would come to know Jesus, and somehow we'd be able to have a conversation with them about that. Because when people that don't know God come home to him, there is rejoicing in heaven. There is partying. And Jesus says, welcome home, I love you. And he says that to each of you as well. So remember this week and for the rest of your lives that you can always come home to God, that he is always there and that he loves you so much. And spend time praying for those people that don't yet know him so they can come into the arms of God as well. So God, I just thank you for your love for us. I thank you for your forgiveness. I thank you that we can come back to your arms again and again and you welcome us home. And I pray that this week we would remember that, we would know that, and you'd prompt us to think of those people that don't yet know you that we could talk to about you. Amen. Well, thanks for joining me again on Wired at Home. Next week, as I said at the beginning of the video, we'll be on Zoom again, so I'll send out the code. But if you want to get involved, we'd love to see you there. It was so fun last week getting to see your faces and having a chat. So we'd love you to join us on Zoom next week. I hope you all have a great week. We're praying for you and hopefully see you soon. Bye.